YouTube.
Hello, Internet, and welcome back to Good Game Nation. Today, we're going to bring you a decent dive into the basic rules that were released just a little while ago. Um, I'm here with Sam and Zach. Say hello, boys.
We're here.
What's up with it?
How you guys doing today?
I'm excited to talk these rules. These rules leave us with a very encouraging feeling.
They do, don't they? It's an exciting time when we get a good look at what this game is going to be. What do you think, Zach?
I'm excited. There's a lot to talk about.
For
I
sure.
think we just get right into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mm,
So, this image is the PDF from the One Piece TCG Japanese website
yep.
that some kind fellows on the internet have run through Google Translate, uh, which I didn't know was possible. You can run full documents through Google Translate.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
pretty cool.
Google's
it is.
broken, bro.
It's really cool. So I don't know who made this one, but I saw some people on the One Piece trading card game community Discord. It's a mouthful. Uh,
Link in the description below.
it's down there. It's
yeah,
always down there. Yeah.
yeah. Some of the guys there translated it. I don't know where this exact copy came from, but it's probably all the same. Um, I'll try to find the guy's name at some point and let you
Oh,
know to watch his content too, because I believe he's a content creator too.
yep.
Um, well, yeah, let's just jump into it. Sam, do you want to read
Yes.
the
So,
first
so,
box?
so the first part was talking about the requirements of the deck. Really simple. 1 liter, 50 cards. This looks like it's very specific. Like not like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you can run like 52, 53. It's 50, just like most Bandai games so far. And it has to be the same color as the leader. Okay, it says deck built with 50 color cards of the leader card. So right now, I'm guessing that they're going to keep it very simple. Red leader's red, 50 red cards in the deck. Very standard, four cards the same card number, and then the Dawn cards. There are 10, which we did know from a previous information.
Yeah, this is really interesting. The four cards of the same is very Bandai. They usually do four to a play set. Uh, the 50 colored cards of the same as the leader is something that I feel like is going to be a hindrance over time.
Maybe.
But it's good. I know you guys have a different opinion on that. So, why do you guys think that that's a good thing in comparison to what we've seen in other games?
Go ahead, Zach.
All right. So basically, what we've seen from other games is certain cards will carry over, and it doesn't matter the color. Right? Like there's certain cards that will be in every deck. And while yes, that is a good thing, is also a very bad thing early on. Like you go back to Dragon Ball and like we've had Champa, double strike.
Sensubin.
Champa Double Strike Sensubin was everywhere. Champa Double Strike was actually probably more potent across every deck because it was a combo card.
Yeah, and it still is. It's every deck now is like I still, it's always ABCs. You always bring Champa, right? But it just,
It can be
yeah,
toxic, is that what you're getting at?
it can get very bad very fast.
You
And
have staple
this
cards
is
that everyone uses but aren't related to the actual deck that you're playing.
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, like, further on down the line, I hope that we get, multicolor or being able to switch things around. But maybe the mechanic of having like the pirate ship, maybe
Oh,
that just doesn't all for it.
I was gonna. My thought for that is they might keep it really simple too. I don't know how. Maybe they'll split off. We were talking about archetypes. Maybe certain colors will have certain archetypes, but with that rule, it's possible that we'll just see very similar cards in each kind of deck. Like there won't be like Sensu Bean for blue. There'll be Sensu Bean for every color, something like that. Something very close. So that could be why we're seeing that rule as well. So they're not running four of this color and then four of that color just to keep replicating whatever this X effect is. It could be something like that. That could be why we're seeing this rule early on, but that one's a little speculation.
So,
Something we didn't talk about though is the deck can be built with three different cards. The character event cards. Event cards seem like this game's spells, jutsus, um, whatever, and then you got our stage cards. We talked about it a little bit in our last video. We're gonna get boats. We're gonna get maybe some actual locations, which is really cool because we've seen a lot of cool places in One Piece. So this is definitely really cool.
Yeah, that's really exciting to see that they're not going to just all be characters. They're going to have some type of spell interaction. Um, and that kind of leads to the next section where they're just kind of just below that, they're just talking about how to prepare your deck and how to prepare for a game, which is basic card game stuff. They're telling you that you're going to have a mulligan. There's a single mulligan, which is really cool. It doesn't have any like Pokemon. You have to show your hand to because you don't have a basic to mulligan. There you can just mulligan for no reason, which is interesting to me. But it's going to be a 5-card hand to start. I haven't seen anything about hand limits. Have you guys?
Nothing.
No.
I'm
Nothing in the
it
basics.
feels very Dragon Ballish so far. Like your hand is your resource so far. So no hand restriction.
Yeah.
17 card hands, baby.
Maybe.
It's toxic also. Your Digimon deck's toxic. Check out that video.
Shameless plug.
Heck yeah, man. And then we get I think we talked about it briefly in the last video too, that they showed us the card zones. It's interesting that right now they're showing 5 card zones for the character area. I hope that's not a limit. I think that could be an interesting idea also, though. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has the 5 card space limitation for your characters or for your monster cards in that game. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects deck building. If you can only have 5 character cards on the field at once, you might not get weenie rushes. It's just going to change the formats, right?
I think this is just a spacing thing. I don't think there's actually 5. Nothing else in the rules. No spoiler, but there's nothing in the rule that say you can only have 5. This in the rules, so I'm pretty sure this is just a art thing. Nothing to do with. I think it's just like character areas right here. I think that's what they meant.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. As we go through the rules, we might find something else.
Yeah.
And then the last thing on the first column is win condition. You have to deal final blow after you reduce life to 0.
Yep.
I believe Dragon Ball does not do this, but Digimon does.
Yeah.
That's correct, right?
Digimon does this, yeah. So this is new, not new.
Yeah, Digimon does that, and then it also carries over. If we look at it, you also lose when you deck out. Not like in that like Dragon Ball deck out. So as soon as you draw your last card, you lose. Not finish your turn.
0.
Yeah. It's actually just draw your card, you lose. And that could be bad, it could be good. We'll see.
Yeah. Zach, you have this up, right? You can read the.
I'm about to say you were pretty excited about the refresh being first.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no shade here putting you on the spot to read this next section. No.
Alright, man. So your refresh is when you're gonna untap all your stuff. We're gonna paraphrase most of it because we're just gonna do that.
If you haven't played card games,
basically,
you tap cards and untap.
Yeah, to signify that you're attacking or that you're doing an action, you usually have to rest your card a specific way. The refresh phase is like your untap phase. It's the exact same thing. You're going to restand those cards at the beginning of your turn before you draw a card. Most games you get to draw and then untap. But I believe, if I remember correctly, Magic is untap draw. So that's
untap draw.
That is a good sign, right?
How is that significant during gameplay? How is that technicality different?
If you draw a card that says start of turn, it's not technically the start of your turn because you're on the second step of your turn, right? So if you draw a card that says this effect will activate at the start of your turn, you can no longer activate that effect for this turn because you're not at the start of your turn.
Got it. So that's something that happens in that refresh phrase for that specific style. Okay, that's interesting.
And like we can even, dive deeper, way further, but there's a lot of stuff that could happen. And then you're gonna draw, so you draw for your turn. So you'll untap all your cards, everything will look nice and pretty. You'll draw for your turn, and then you'll move into your dawn phase. This is, from my understanding and from what most of us have seen, this is your mana base. This is your energy, your resources. This is so the turn player will flip over from your dawn deck. You have 10 cards. Player 1 will flip over 1 dawn into that area. It's located towards the bottom of your mat, and that is your 1 dawn to work with for the turn. And when you pass your turn over to your opponent's first turn, they will flip over 2 dawn cards. So now your opponent has 2 to work with while you have 1, and when they pass the turn back, you will add 2 more. So now you will have 3 to your opponent's 2, so on and so forth. By both players' turn 5, each player will have full mana, access to do whatever you want with it. It also resets itself when you reset all of your mana. It will also move from the board back to back to your mana pool.
Yeah, during that refresh phase, you take your cards that are on character cards or leader and move them back to your cost area is what they're calling it right now, which is interesting because we have effects that move cards out.
Yep.
So we had speculated, like, how are we going to interact with those? Are they going to stand, or are we going to have to do that every turn? I guess it's probably better when it comes to like health of the board, like board state, to have them come back every turn, which is good to see that. The other thing I think is interesting is the 2 mana per turn, which usually in games you have to play card from hand, and you can only do that once most of the time, right?
Yeah, I think they borrowed that one from Naruto. Naruto has an actual turn marker. The turn marker in this game is obviously moving a little quicker. But it feels a little bit Naruto. It's like we're pulling a little bit from every little game Bandai has done so far, and I think they're picking some of the better parts of it, to be honest. Then if we go into the main phase is the best thing about Dragon Ball, and it looks like they just copied and pasted it. And it says you could do any of these actions in any order as many times as you like, which is play a card. The card, again, is what we talked about being Dawn. So if it costs 3 Dawn, you have to tap 3 Dawn or rest 3 Dawn. Attach a card. So if you have a Dawn ready to move over, you can move it over. We don't know if this needs to be from an effect or if you can do this on your own. That detail is not actually here at this moment. I'm assuming an effect needs to activate to do it, but then again, I guess we will find out. Use card effects like some of the cards we have seen. That'll be in our next video. I'll link it there. Using card effects will cost dawns or will cost something else, or your counter effects or your other effects will activate here, and then your attack. So if you wanted to attack, then play card, then activate effect, or then attack, that is capable in this main phase. It's really very open, very creative, and I think that's where a lot of the skill in Dragon Ball actually comes from, is from this phase. So that's really cool.
Yeah, it was my favorite part about Dragon Ball Super TCG, that you could do whatever you want whenever you wanted. Yep. It's kind of different for, like, no other game is really doing stuff like that, right? Pokemon, it's pretty linear and there's no interaction. Yu-Gi-Oh, you have your main phase and then battle phase, and then I don't even know if main phase 2 is still around. I don't play that.
Pretty sure it's still there.
It's there, yeah.
That game's weird.
Magic has actually just one battle.
It's just one battle, yeah.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed that part of Super. Being able to activate main and run all your effects how you please, so that it really mixes up your strategy, so that you could be playing a mirror and they're gonna attack differently than you. They're gonna play cards differently.
Their chain of operation is unique to that player, yeah.
Yeah, it was dependent.
It's so punishing and it's so rewarding.
Yeah, it's something that takes a lot of practice.
Yeah, you'll learn to not overextend, and you'll realize that less is more all the time.
Yeah, and we'll see if any of these effects put your Dawn cards back into your Dawn deck, so that you lose access to them. I feel like the Luffy leader that we saw said something about that, but
Yeah.
that's just off of the top of my head. I can't remember exactly what everything we've seen so far is. Um, but the final phase is just in phase, right? It just
That is the final phase. There is the battle procedure, which they go over the attacking phase in a little more in depth. The attack is you still to attack you rest it. That's very still common. While you attack, if you always attack leader unless you have your opponent has a battle card rested, which then a battle card can hit another battle card. That is the only normal occasion. Obviously, there's effects that probably deviate that, but that is the normal phase. Block Step and Digimon and Dragon Ball both had blockers. A character that can basically just block an attack. Counter Step, so this is Dragon Ball again. Counter Step lets you play any effects that have counter on it, and they boost it a lot. The ones we saw, Brooke does this, and we're going to talk about that more in that video. It's here. Yeah, counter step is definitely very in depth, and then damage step. If your attack is higher than whatever you attacked, you're either going to take a damage, and your opponent draws that card, or you KO the attacking card, the other character card.
yeah. The interesting thing about this is what I've seen is the attacking card wins battles. So if you tie, the defender loses.
Yep.
Which is interesting, and there's no problem with losing a battle, right? If you go up and you lose, you just end up rested and vulnerable, but you don't
Correct.
lose, like you don't get KO'd
Correct.
from that. Is that similar in Digimon and Dragon Ball? I can't remember Dragon Ball's damage step.
Yeah, anyway, I just want to touch on it. We'll get into all the specifics and everything in other videos. Sam will link it somewhere up there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of differences actually. So stay
this battle
tuned.
procedure is going to get. We'll go over in depth on how it's different from other games.
Yeah.
But I think it's really interesting that we're seeing things. We're already theorizing on deck building and how all these things affect how we play the game. You guys have any final thoughts on this basic rule sheet that we've gotten from them?
I'm very happy we got it. It's very much earlier than I thought we were going to get it, which is really cool. And the most interesting, of course, is Dawn. That's the most unique thing here, and I love getting the more information on it. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Bandai does with Dawn. If they're going to be vanilla all the time, or if we're going to get an effect that changes.
Probably.
I'm assuming that they're mostly going to be plus 1,000.
It says
because as soon as you change it, it's
that was a cool thing they talked about, is that you have to shuffle your Dawn deck. So that leads me to believe that there might be some uniqueness in the Dawns. Why else would you shuffle them?
Yeah,
Like Dragon
they're always
Balls.
the same.
Yeah.
Like Dragon Balls.
Yep.
Yeah. So is that all your guys' final thoughts? If that's everything, we'll let these people go. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. In the comment section this time, let us know what you're most excited about for the One Piece TCG, and if you have any thoughts about these rules so far. Do you like them? Do you hate them? I think that's all for today. Bye-bye.
Bye.